Loser maxing is a fraud. Loser maxing is a phony. Loser maxing is a fake sell. That's what everyone's saying, at least. Well, not everyone. Actually, I think it's just a minority of my viewers, but I'm definitely getting enough comments like this now that at this point, I think I just need to make a video addressing the allegations. So here we go. The accusations range from my stories are just too unrealistic to I'm a federal agent, and my favorite that I'm not even a real person and this is just an AI voice created by the feds to infiltrate the black pill community or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and address all the criticisms I've been getting because this is my real life that I talk about in these videos, and I don't really care that much if you believe me or not because I'm mostly just venting here, and I'd probably still be doing this even if nobody watched. But yeah, the way I'm gonna do this is I'm going to address what I think are the weakest allegations first, and then I'll move on to some of the stronger criticisms because I do think there are actually pretty good reasons to think that I'm making all this up. But yeah, we'll get into that. So the first piece of evidence that has been levied against me that I think is pretty weak is that surely I must be making up all of these things I say because my thumbnails are too good. And honestly, I don't really understand this criticism because I've been saying from the start, this is not my first YouTube channel. If you don't know, I have an old YouTube channel that I don't post on anymore. And as I've said many times before on this channel, before I made my old channel, I actually quit my job to try to pursue YouTube as a career path. And it obviously didn't work out, but I did have one like semi-viral video that got about 1 million views. So I don't know why it's surprising to some people that I have decent thumbnails, but yeah, I know how to make good thumbnails. I really don't get what's so surprising about it. You know, I spend a little time to try to make enticing thumbnails because I'm trying to get more views. And I don't know why that would mean I'm lying about everything because I have good thumbnails. I just really don't get it. And it's funny to me because on my main PC, which is broke, and it's been broke since before I even started this channel, I had Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects, and I actually used to make all my thumbnails for my old channel in After Effects, and I can't even do that now since the computer that I have with After Effects is broken, so I don't even have access to After Effects anymore. So yeah, like I could be making way better thumbnails than what you see on this channel if I still had After Effects. So y'all haven't even seen my final form. And I know that might be confusing to some of you since After Effects is a video editing software, but I actually did use it to make thumbnails. But anyways, I tried to make decent thumbnails, so I don't know why that would mean I'm lying. Another thing people say that, you know, it's a reason that I must be completely fake, and this is kind of related to the thumbnail thing, people say that my audio quality is too good. And again, I don't really understand, like, as I've said, you know, it's pretty much the same response I have to the thumbnail allegations. I quit my job to pursue YouTube for my old channel. Obviously, I bought some nice microphones. I learned a little bit about audio editing because I was trying to do YouTube as a job. You know, I was actually trying to make a living on this. So yeah, I know how to make my audio sound good. How would that mean I'm lying? I don't even understand that. And the thing is, none of this is even all that expensive or complicated. Like, for my thumbnails, I just use GIMP, which is a free alternative to Photoshop. It's open source. Any of you can download it and use it yourself. And yeah, that's what I use to make my thumbnails. And the microphone I use is called the DJI mic, and it costs about $250, and it's pretty high quality, I think. And the reason I bought this microphone is because I see a lot of other YouTubers using it, and so yeah, that's why I bought it. So it's pretty high quality, and then I just do the audio editing in Audacity, which again is a free program that anybody can download. And all I do is I do a simple EQ on my voice, then I do a compressor, and I do a noise gate, and that's basically all the audio processing I do. And then I do manually go through and listen to everything I record, and then I edit out some of the, like, some parts that were silent or parts where I cleared my throat or stuttered or whatever. So I kind of edit it to make it sound better. But yeah, again, the whole allegation seems to be that, you know, Loser Maxing, his videos are too professional. It's too high quality. He must be fake. He's a federal agent. Like I don't understand the criticism. If you think this is high quality, for one, my videos aren't that high quality. You know, it's some gameplay footage and me ranting about whatever happens to be on my mind. So Yeah, I have a good microphone. I have decent audio quality. I have decent thumbnails. Yeah, I don't know. If you think that means I'm fake, then I don't think there's really anything I could tell you to, because I'm not denying it. I think I have pretty good thumbnails and I have pretty good audio quality, and that's not going to change. So yeah, I mean, I just don't really have much to say to dispute this quote unquote evidence because I don't really see it as evidence at all. You're just saying that I'm good at something that I do as a hobby. So thanks, I guess. Okay, so the next thing I see people saying is that, loser maxing is a Fed. He's a federal agent. He's here to infiltrate the black pill community to promote acts of terrorism or something. I don't really know what the goal would be. For the people that think I'm a federal agent, what do you think my goal is? I have seen multiple comments saying this where people are claiming I'm a Fed, but I know obviously those people are like schizophrenic or something, or just really retarded. I mean, I know obviously most of you don't think I'm a Fed, but if you do, again, there's not really much I can say to prove that I'm not a Fed. So there's not really much I can do to dispute this evidence. If you think I'm a federal agent, then okay, you think that. There's not really much I can say about it. And what's also funny, I've actually seen more than one person commenting, and it actually really surprised me, but I've seen comments claiming that my voice is AI generated. And this is just extra stupid to me because if the feds wanted to make a fake Inkwell YouTuber for whatever reason, then why would they use an AI voice? They could just have a guy do the voiceover. There wouldn't be any benefit to the voice being AI generated. It doesn't even make sense. So yeah. And I'll tell you right now, and you can quote me on this, even if I am a federal agent, I am not an AI voice. What you are hearing right now is 100% human, unless I guess you don't consider sub 5s to be human, which I guess a lot of people pretty much don't. So maybe my voice isn't 100% human, but it's certainly not AI. And if you want me to prove that I'm not an AI generated voice, then I think I do have a way to prove it. So if somebody would be willing to send me $100, then I will send you an audio file of me saying the gamer word, because we all know that AI won't say that word. So yeah, if anyone's willing to do it, I'll do it for $100. But yeah, the whole federal agent thing, I mean, if any of you listening to this are, one of the people that thinks I'm a Fed, then please go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know, what do you think? Like, what is my goal here, Because I truly don't understand it. And I mean, the thing is, I actually wouldn't even be surprised if the FBI or something was monitoring my comment section because, I talk about Chad and Stacy. I use some of the, the forbidden lingo, and they seem to think that's tantamount to terrorism or whatever. But me personally, like me myself, no, I'm not a federal agent. So now we're going to move on. So far, I know I've only addressed kind of the more softball criticisms, me having good thumbnails, good audio quality, or me being a Fed. I know most of you don't care about that stuff, or, you don't think that's like a valid criticism already, but let's move on to some of the stronger evidence that I've seen to support the claim that loser maxing is fake. Because believe it or not, I actually do think a lot of you are right to be skeptical of me. I mean, after all, I actually have been lying to you. I mean, I'm surprised I even managed to make it this far with so many of you believing me, but I think it's time I come clean. I am not 6 foot 2 inches tall. I'm actually only 6 feet and 1.75 inches tall. No, but seriously, I mean, I am a bit shorter than 6'2", but I think I am tall enough to round up. Like, I'm taller than 6'1.5". So anyways, back to the point. Yeah, like I really do understand why so many of you think I'm lying, because if I wasn't me, then I probably wouldn't believe me either. And it's funny because I remember after I had first started listening to DBDR and I had been listening to him for a little while, like at some point I started to think, this is fake. No way is all this shit real. And Yeah, then I listened to him even more and I started to come back around to thinking, well, actually, maybe this guy is telling the truth. And then I started to think, well, maybe he's exaggerating sometimes, but he's mostly telling the truth. And yeah, I don't know. So I've kind of been back and forth just listening to DBDR, trying to decide whether or not I think the things he says are true. So yeah, I can totally understand why you listening to my videos, why you would think the same thing that I think sometimes about DBDR. So yeah, I fully understand that. And I mean, when I think about the last few weeks of my life, then yeah, I probably wouldn't believe it either because it has been pretty crazy, the whole thing with the gym girl and all that. So yeah, I don't really know how to truly exonerate myself here. Like, I don't know how to actually prove I'm not lying, but I'm going to do my best. So let's go ahead and we'll go through some of the most common things I see you guys saying about why you don't believe me, and I'll address each of them as we go through. So one thing I see a lot is that it's just too hard to believe that a white guy that is 6'2" could possibly be a kissless, hugless virgin. And I've already talked about this in a lot of my other videos, and I'm sure I'll talk about it more in the future, but I know obviously my height and JBW status are advantages. Like, that's true, and I don't deny that, but the fact of the matter is I have really, really bad social anxiety. And I think this is where a lot of you just are not understanding me, because everybody has social anxiety to some degree. So everybody thinks they're an expert on social anxiety. Everybody thinks they understand it. But if you don't have social anxiety, like crippling social anxiety to the degree that I do, then you probably actually just can't understand it. Like, you can't even fathom it, because it's like, however bad you think my social anxiety is, it's worse. I guarantee it's actually worse than that. On top of all that, it's not like being 6'2" and JBW like automatically makes me a Chad, because I am bald, and again, my head is very small and oddly shaped. I'm not just like ugly, but like I'm kind of weird looking. And I mean, seriously, I am sub-5, and I don't know why it's so hard for some of you to believe that a 6'2" JBW guy could possibly be sub-5. But in my opinion, from what I've seen throughout my life, I don't even think it's that uncommon. If you all saw a picture of me, then you'd probably understand. But the thing is, there is no way in hell that I am going to do a face reveal on this channel, because then my actual face would be associated with this channel and the content that I put out here. I'm struggling enough already as it is. If I did a face reveal, then that would be pretty much sealing my fate. It would be pretty much a guaranteed thing that I could never get hired again to any job. Or, even if I did, any one of you, thousands of people watching my videos, you could easily just cancel me or have me fired from my job. And not only that, but, because I don't even care about the job thing as much as I care about, my family or someone else finding out that I do this channel. If I post my face on here, somebody's going to find out. Someone out there is going to send a picture of my face and send my channel to my parents or something like that, and that is my worst nightmare. So I kind of wish that I could do a face reveal, because I think that would really stop a lot of the naysayers, a lot of the people that think I'm fake. I really think if you saw my face, you would start to understand. But yeah, I mean, it's just not worth the risk. So I have thought about doing maybe a face reveal to one person, like some trusted third party or something, who could then, I send my picture to them and then they verify to all of you that I am truly sub-5, but I'm not really sure how that would work. The idea would be that maybe I could send a picture to someone trusted in the Black Pill community, like a Rehab Room or another Black Pill YouTuber, and then they could make a post just saying either yeah, he's sub-5, or no, he's actually Chad. But I don't know if that would even be worth the risk, because then for all I know, that person might try to sabotage me in some way. So I don't know. It's probably just not worth the risk now that I think about it, but I don't know. I'll have to think about that some more. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to do a general face reveal. It's just not going to happen. Say what you want. If you want to unsubscribe, never watch my videos again because I'm not going to reveal my face, then so be it. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth the risk. Okay, so now let's move on. One of the other allegations that I get all the time, one of the things people say is like, loser maxing is definitely fake. He's definitely a liar because he says he has a master's degree in computer science and he can't find a job. Anyone, if you have a master's degree in computer science, they're just handing jobs out. And the thing is, this is really frustrating to me because everything I've said about my struggles with finding a job, applying to tons of jobs online and getting no responses, everything I said about my degree, I have a master's degree in computer science. It's all true. All of that is true. I'm not going to dox myself by posting a picture of my degree. I don't really think that would satisfy the doubters anyway, because I guess what people are doubting isn't that I have the degree. I think where people think I'm lying is that people think, people just don't believe the whole story. How could you have a master's degree in computer science and not be able to find a job? But I mean, that's just how it is. And I probably shouldn't even be saying this because I know I'm just giving the doubters more ammunition, but my master's degree is actually from one of the highest ranking universities in the world for computer science. And I didn't have a low GPA or anything either. You can't even graduate with a master's degree with less than like a 3.5 or something. But even then, I didn't have the minimum GPA. I had like a 3.7 something. So I think a lot of you just really don't understand how the job market is right now for programmers. It's not good, and I've talked about this before, and I think everything I've said is correct, especially when it comes to like entry-level programming jobs or even getting hired, forget about entry-level jobs, but getting hired at any job as a programmer when you don't have any experience on your resume, it's pretty much impossible at this point. The degree alone is not getting people jobs. And I don't know why that's so hard to believe, but that is the reality of the job market right now. I'm sure, maybe 10 years ago or something, if you had a master's degree in computer science, you could just walk into IBM or Microsoft or just walk in anywhere and get a software development job. But it's really not like that right now. Because in this field, the degree is actually less important than it is in other fields. For programming jobs, they actually don't care about your degree as much as they care about your experience. And me personally, I don't really have professional experience. I have good experience with programming, the projects I've done, personal projects and projects I did throughout school, but I don't have any like what they call real world experience, I guess. So yeah, I haven't been able to find a job. And everything I said about that is true. So if you're listening to this and you have a computer science degree, then you probably know that what I'm saying is true. So if you're one of those people listening to this with a computer science degree, especially if you're like a recent graduate, then please get in my comment section and let these people know how it is. Please somebody verify that what I'm saying is true, because I don't know. I don't know what there is I can say. Like, I don't have the like data to show you to back this up, to show you how, all these job postings are fake and all this and how hard it is to find a job, but that's how it is. So again, I don't really know what more I can say other than I'm telling the truth and that's what it is. Okay, so now let's move on to what is actually, the number one most reasonable, best evidence that you all have to say that I am a big, fat, fake phony. And that is that the whole gym girl saga, that it's just too far-fetched, it's too unrealistic, it's just not believable. Like, do I really expect you all to believe that, coincidentally, right after I started my YouTube channel, all of this crazy stuff starts to happen, and, I went 35 years of my life with no attention from females, and then coincidentally, all of a sudden, a girl likes me? Well, the answer is no. I don't expect you to believe it, Everything I've said about Gym Girl, and including, how she hung up on me and how I got knocked out at the boxing gym, all of that stuff I've said, and everything else I've said on this channel, it is all true. But, like I say, if I was listening to some random guy on YouTube saying all this stuff, then I probably wouldn't believe it either. So yeah, I truly do understand why a lot of you don't believe me. But again, there's not really any way I can prove that it's all true. You either believe me or you don't. And I'll go ahead and get this out of the way because I have seen some comments suggesting that I could prove it by posting screenshots of the text on my phone. But yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because the fact of the matter is that text messages can easily be faked. So me posting screenshots of our text conversation, it wouldn't even prove anything because I could easily fake that. If you think I make high quality thumbnails, then you shouldn't be surprised that I could easily also make high quality fabricated text message screenshots. Like that would be easy to do. And I know that you all know that. So all the same people that don't believe me now, you still wouldn't believe me after I posted the screenshots. So there's no point in me doing that. Because also, it would take me some time to do it because I couldn't just post the bare screenshots. There's like a lot of stuff we talked about I would have to edit out. We talked about like stuff in our area, and then also I would have to like edit out the phone numbers maybe. I don't know if that shows up, but yeah, like it's just not worth it to me. For privacy concerns, I might accidentally forget to edit something out, and it's just not worth it. It's too much effort for what I know is, if you already don't believe me, then you're not going to believe me if you see the screenshots. And if you do believe me currently, then you don't need to see the screenshot. So there's no reason for me to do it. It's just pointless. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. And if you think my refusal to post screenshots of the text conversations, if you think that's proof that I'm fake, then so be it. It is what it is. I'm not going to do that. I do care a lot about my privacy. And so, that's why, I'm not posting a picture of my degree. I'm not posting a picture of my face. I'm not doing any of this because I don't want anyone in my real life that knows me or anything like that to come across this channel. That is my worst nightmare. And I'm sure you can all understand that. So again, I understand why some of you think that I'm lying about all of this because, again, I agree. The whole thing with the gym girl is really weird and it's far-fetched and it's hard to believe. I agree with all of that. So yeah, ultimately, if you believe me, you believe me. If you don't, you don't. And there's really nothing I could say or do to convince you. I'm an internet guy. Like, I've been terminally online since before some of you were even born. I've been terminally online since the early 2000s, and I know exactly how this goes. You either believe me or you don't. There's nothing I can say that's going to change your mind, and that's that. And now I want to address the final reason why a lot of people claim that I'm fake. A lot of people claim I'm a fake cell and I'm making all this up. And the reason that a lot of people say I would be doing this is because they say I'm making all this up just to try to make money somehow. That I'm a grifter, and I have a response to that. Here's what I say to that. Well, I know this is bad timing, but I've actually just started a Patreon, and I wrote a book too. And no, that's not a joke. But yeah, I've been upfront with you all from the start that making a living on YouTube, it's like my dream. I quit my job. I had a good job at some point. I quit that to pursue YouTube full time, and that was my old channel. But either way, this should not be very surprising. This channel is starting to get some traction now, so I'm going to try to profit off of it. I'm not trying to rip you off in any way. I'm not selling you snake oil. I'm not selling you, false hopes of self-improvement. But either way, if you don't want to join my Patreon, then don't. You won't be missing out on much. And you can actually just buy my book from Amazon if you don't want to subscribe on Patreon. But yeah, as of now, if you join my Patreon, what you get is you'll get access to the digital version of my book, Woj Discovers Looksmaxing, and you'll also get access to 3 exclusive videos. And this is all $3 a month, by the way. I have some higher price tiers on there, but they don't get you anything extra. So yeah, $3 a month. You'll get Woj Discovers Looksmaxing. It's just a stupid book. I guess you could say it's like a satire of looksmaxing, but basically it's written in the style of a children's book, and it's just a stupid story making fun of looksmaxing. Okay, so if you think that sounds cool, you can get that on my Patreon, or you can buy it on Amazon. I have a paperback version available too. And this is actually why I was trying to contact DBDR earlier. I made that community post because I wanted to have him narrate the book so I could make a video version read by DBDR, and I would have that for my Patreon supporters, but he never responded to me, and that's fine. Like, he probably has better things to do, but yeah, anyways, that's what all that was about. But yeah, the 3 exclusive videos on my Patreon, they're pretty much just like my regular types of videos, but I felt like, well, with with 2 of them, I felt like they might include just a bit too much private information, or at least more info than I'd want to put out there to just anyone and everyone. So I decided to not post them on my channel. So now they're on Patreon. And the other exclusive video, it's just the story of the one time I tried to approach a girl in public. And honestly, the only reason I didn't upload that to my channel is because I thought it's kind of a boring story. But yeah, I figured I might as well add that to the Patreon rewards as well. So yeah, you know, and I do plan to eventually add more exclusive videos. I don't know how often, maybe like once a month or something, but we'll see how it goes. And I might eventually start doing members only live streams or something like that. And I might, if people seem to like Woj Discovers Looks Maxing, I might write another book as well. And if I do, you know, all of that is going to be available to Patreon supporters. So yeah. And again, if you don't want to subscribe to Patreon, but you do want the book, then you can just buy the book on Amazon. There's an ebook version and a physical paperback version you can buy also. And I'll leave the Amazon links in the description.